Greetings and salutations, everyone. I do hope everyone is still doing well, and welcome to this night ending bonus upload. Before we jump into it, a couple quick links. As many of you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, channel membership, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon, PayPal, and channel membership is in the description below. Merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support the channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It does not cost a cent. Click the like button. It takes half a second. If you don't want to miss out on any of the informative uploads that I put out daily, click that bell icon, and folks, please leave a comment. Why? Well, because all of these things really do help the channel to continue to grow and go. They definitely do matter, and they are appreciated. And now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's jump in to this night-ending bonus upload, shall we? All right, everybody. Tonight I have a special guest, a guest who you guys in the comment section will know. A lot of you have conversed with him, Street Racer Guitar, and I finally, after reading all of his comments, convinced him to come on the show tonight. Great guy. Just had about an hour conversation with him, and he is here to share what has been going on in the upper part of Michigan. How are you, Street?
Oh.
Are you there?
Oh.
Hi, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to go back outside so I got better signal.
Okay.
But, yeah, I'm here. I thought you wanted me to call me to yell at me for posting in your comment section or something.
No. I was getting jealous that you were sharing with everybody, and.
But no, I'm glad to be interviewed. Glad to be interviewed.
And I'm glad to have you here.
You have my favorite channel. It's really the only cryptid channel I listen to, and think it's great. So glad to be part of it.
Thank you very much. Now, a lot of people have read your comments, and it's kind of a mystery because you're very brief with them. You know, like I'm feeding them here and I'm doing this. Can you share where you're located? You know, not the town, but where you're located.
Well, I'm way up in northern Michigan. I'm about 3 hours north of any population center. And, I mean, there's little towns,
right,
but I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Okay. All right. Now, we spoke there. You got a swamp. You're in a swamp, right? Or by a swamp?
I live in a swampy area. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in the middle of nowhere, living in a swamp.
All right. So your first encounter was a couple of years ago. You want to start with that?
Oh, yeah. I was coming back from Saginaw, which is the closest city with a guitar center, and I had whiz. So, and I couldn't wait till I got home. So I pulled off on the side of the road behind a tree on the back kitty corner of my property. Now, our area is full of just terrible people. There's a lot of meth labs up here. And I live in an area that's got a liquor store and a bar and a trailer park down the street. So I thought it was this meth head coming out of nowhere because they're all weird. This thing in a wolf. I thought he was playing Scooby-Doo with me with his wolf mask, right? So I'm whizzing, and he's coming running up, and so I hit him. The first jet, I hit him with the 1, 2, 3. The first one went right to his throat. The left hook caught him right on the side, and the right cross right under the chin. It took me a while to realize it wasn't a person. But I got out of there. I didn't think about it because when you see stuff that you don't expect, it's easier to believe it's a person in a costume.
Right.
But it had to be, it wasn't. So about a week later, things are getting into my garbage. Weird footprints. That's how I found your channel. I was looking, what is this? And what took the cake was when the garbage barrel got flinged, a full garbage barrel got flinged across the yard.
Now, when you say garbage barrel, he's
55-gallon barrel.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it got flinged across the yard because things were eating out of it. The top would get thrown off, and stuff would get through my garbage. So I dumped a bunch of hot peppers in there, ghost peppers. I figured, whatever's eating this, I'll fix you up. I ain't gonna let garbage all over my yard. Well, whatever I did, ticked it off, and it just flipped that barrel across the yard. So I get some researching done, and that's how it gets me to your channel. I see these footprints, and I go through a lot of channels and research, what is this? What is this? That's how I found your channel.
Right.
So, fast forward, to keep things away from my garbage, now I realize I think I have a suspected Dogman on the back of my 160 acres in the corner of the swamp. I put some roadkill back there. Started a bait pile. It's like a feed pile.
Yep.
Now, when you're feeding stuff, like I used to feed deer apples. When you're feeding stuff, the deer used to wait when I feed the apples every day. I'd get out of my junior high school, be about 2:30. I'd go out there and dump the apples, and the deer would wait, and there were more deer show up. So it was kind of like that with these creatures, these dogmen. So more of them came, and I think it was a family, a pack. They seemed like communal creatures.
Okay.
And they got used to me. Well, one of them, they were getting a little brave. Well, I zapped one with a cattle prod because it got close. I threw the dead roadkill deer off M32, the highway. I threw it back there. And the one got really brave and grah. So I zapped it right on the side of the neck with the cattle prod. It's like, because they're a predator animal with a high prey drive. If you're not scared of them and you don't run away, going, oh my God, something scary, you'll be fine. Stand your ground. It's like that with people. It's like that with dogs, anything. So he stood back. But they were waiting. So I fed them. This is kind of like, there's lots of little details. I'm giving you the condensed version. I will answer anything on questions and answers and in future interviews if you want.
Right.
Or in the comments. It's okay. Well, eventually, I call the DNR because it's the right thing to do. A few years ago, a wild boar got hit in front of my house, which is an invasive species, and what you're supposed to do is call the DNR or something, let them know. So I did that. He's out with the sheriffs. Okay? Well, stop feeding those. They didn't act surprised. They really didn't do much. They kind of walked out in the woods. Stop. We need you to stop feeding that. You're a hazard to the area. Oh, okay. Well, I stopped feeding. Guess what? They come back up into my house area, back into them, dumping over the garbage cans, rooting through whatever, looking for foods, okay? Because you took away an animal's feed. So I started feeding them again. It wasn't about a week later. The DNR officer, I talked to him. Well, I got to make some calls. Well, he called this agency. I'm believing it's a government agency or something. 2 black SUVs, stereotypical, Chevy Tahoes. 1 black van. I'm guessing it's a surveillance van. And 1 Cadillac with an official-looking dude. I'm going to call him a colonel. But I really don't know if he's a colonel or a major or whatever. He was official-looking.
Right.
They all had Virginia plates. Okay? Well, you stay in the house for a few days. You don't go back in the woods. All right. What's going on? They had drones flying around, gunfires going out in the woods, and a couple days pass. I really don't know, other than the safety of my window, exactly what was going on. I got this implied threat. You don't know what went on here. You don't tell nobody. This never happened type of thing.
Right.
Okay. Well, what do you do when somebody tells you don't tell them anything? You go blab, right? So I guess I'm a blabbermouth. But I'm not going to give you specific names or details. I don't even know if Agent...
That's what he said? He said his name was Agent Smith?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty generic, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, that's real generic. So they got rid of them. And I was kind of sad. Because they're rare. I'm assuming they're quite rare creatures. They seem to be. Nobody talks about them. They're not really in many textbooks. Right. They must be rare. Well, when you leave a vacuum free of a predator animal, it's like something comes in to fill the vacuum. Well, more Dogman came. One, and possibly a second one came in. It's like they must be territorial. And when one territory empties, they sort of expand over to the next territory. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. They're nomadic, so if they sense there's nothing there and you've got a great spot for them, why would not go there?
Right. And so this one was a little sketchy, but I didn't start the feed pile with him. He was a little more standoffish. And the second one, you'd only catch a glimpse of. So I continue feeding, but this one was not brave yet because it didn't get accustomed to the feed pile of me going there. It's relatively new. But I did put a camper out. I figured, well, I'll give this animal some shelter. This camper got trashed. And, well, it made a mess on the floor. So I blamed the Dogman. We'll get back to the one. I don't think it was the Dogman. And so I said, well, if you're going to be like that and vicious and violent, I'll fix you up. Because a few of the people read my post and said, you better be careful.
Right.
Well, I'll fix this thing. I'll put some antifreeze out for this bugger. So I mixed it in the beer. Okay? I felt bad. I don't know. I don't know if I made him sick or not, but I felt bad the next day. I didn't kill nothing with the antifreeze. I'm assuming like a rat will take nibbles or something to see if it makes him sick if it's new. And that's why I have a feeling that's kind of what happened.
Okay.
But now I got the DNR officer poking back around. Hey, anything strange happening on your property? Like, well, what are you getting at, buddy? You ain't so honest. You know what I mean? You kind of give me the business last time. I ain't telling you nothing. So it continues on. Now, why I don't think the camper was wrecked by the Dogman? Recently, I had a drunk on my property. He had a Ruger 22 with a 25-round clip, middle of the night, blapping away. Pow, 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 pow. I go out there, see what the heck is going on in my woods. And it's some drunk. And he's drunkenly mumbling, I gotta get rid of Satan's dogs. Well, it took some conniving and some swear words and some threats to get him off my property. Now, I'll tell you what, I'd rather deal with a predator animal that runs off one basic method of operation than some drunk with a 22 that you can't predict because people are crazy.
Yeah.
It's not anything else you have to fear, it seems, but people, because they're nuts. Anyway, I got him going, and he left in his dilapidated little SUV. Now, karma was bittersweet. He made it a mile down the road, went to the ditch, and I believe he got a DUI because the police came and got him. So I got a kind of a last laugh there.
Right.
But that's sort of the brief version of what I've been putting down in the comments, and kind of what happened.
Now,
I mean,
I got a couple of questions. When you said that when you were going to the bathroom, taking a pee, you're what, 6'2"? This thing was about 6'5". Can you give like a like, I know it was dark. How about what the body resemble? I mean, you've seen these in light and nighttime, right?
yeah.
Can you give us can you give us
It
like
was
a
jacked.
description?
I'll tell you, it wasn't fat because wild animals tend not to get fat.
Right.
It was jacked, but that experience was short-lived.
Okay.
Because this thing came running up, making some threatening noises, and now you don't know what's going on. You think it's a guy in a mask, so you hit him.
Yep.
And down he went, but it wasn't. But it was, and it smelled raunch. Like, it just smelled, well, like anytime, you know how you take a dog out and it rolls and stuff and it comes back in your house and stinks real bad?
Yeah.
That's how it smelled. Like a dog that rolled in some dead stuff. Like, whoa. At first I thought it was just a bum or a meth head or something.
Right.
But upon some research, it's easier to believe that than to think it was something that isn't supposed to exist. But yeah, and then so it was kind of built pretty good, I guess, if you want to answer your question.
So the ones that you've seen in the daytime, are they what people have, explained how they're large tail, with the cropped ear almost?
They're actually pretty close to the stereotype view. It was like if you cross a Doberman's mouth,
yep,
put some longer hair on it, because the Doberman's got real short hair, put some longer hair on it, put some really strong muscled chest and front shoulders.
Okay.
It's like heavily upper body strength and less. It's like a V-shaped human dog. Okay. It's hard to describe something that's like this, I guess. And it had kind of a brushy tail on it. And when it runs up, looks like when they run fast, it's more on all fours than just on 2 feet.
Okay, so as they're coming towards you to get the food or whatever, they're running 4 feet and then they stand up, or?
If they're running fast, they're going to run on all fours.
Okay.
Their arms are a little bit longer. Because if we ran on all fours, it kind of stinks because we're on our hands and knees. We're crawling like a baby.
Right.
People don't make no thing. But their arms are in like a proportional build, so they can scoop down and use them as four legs to run.
Right, because if a human runs on, like, if they're using the pads of their feet and the pads of their hands, it's an odd. Their arms would have to be longer to actually compensate for the legs being long.
Right.
So
pretty much.
Yeah.
So next question.
Well, eye color. Have you? Brown. Okay. So
in the daytime, I didn't shine no lights. I know people have said at night they glow different colors if it's a Dogman or something else, but I didn't shine no lights on it. This is like in the afternoon. Okay. All right. So, and where you live in a perfect, like we were talking about this, you have a water source. Naturally, you have roadkill, which you're bringing back to them, and I'm assuming it's a forest, so there's going to be some sort of shelter for them out there. So you've got a perfect spot. And then I thought I'd be nice. That's why I put the camper out for shelter. Right. But I don't think it was the Dogman. I think it was that drunk guy that destroyed my camper. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that was, and then when you scared him, he might have been talking out his ass like most drunk people do, but I'm going to kill all of Satan's dogs is
maybe he did see him, and maybe that's what he was shooting at when he was drunk back there, or he was just drunk and
I
shooting
don't
shit.
know. I think this was just recently, and I don't know what he was doing. He was just some drunk on my property gonna shoot Satan's dogs.
Right. Now after the DNR officer took off, so you still have a couple on your property, I'm assuming, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now what?
One for sure. The other one I think stays largely in the older territory.
Okay. All right. They come up to your house at all anymore, or now?
I keep them on the back corner of my property.
Okay. All right. And like I said, guys, I've been reading his comments, and I've seen the conversations that you guys have been having with him, and I was like, I have to reach out to him. I want to find out what is going on, because reading your comments, it was almost like you're a pig farmer going out and feeding them and then putting
It seemed like to some people that I was doing a lot more at once, but when it became part of a routine and you just go back there once a day and that's your experience, some days there's nothing, but it's every day. It's not like, oh, this is happening. Well, it's just part of a routine.
Right.
But it was almost like it almost kind of felt like it was my farm animals back there. Vicious, mean ones, but
Now, there was one other question I wanted to ask. Hang on, it just slipped out of my head. Geez, I'm crow. The DNR officer, oh yeah, that's what it was. So when the initial visit with the Agent Smith and DNR officer, you heard a lot of, like a mini firefight. And drones. Obviously, there's going to be drones.
Well, I had to sit in the house. See, when all the black official-looking scary people came, the black cars and the guys in the fancy SUVs and uniforms and stuff came, the DNR wasn't with them.
Okay.
He just came once with the sheriff.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then he's like, well, I got to make some calls. And then he sent the scary-looking agency people over. I don't know if they know about this and this is what they're supposed to do, but
right.
No, it was about 3 days, and then you sit in your house. Don't go in your woods for a few days.
And you didn't see them removing any carcasses or anything. You just heard.
I don't know. All I know, I didn't see none of that. Okay. I just heard stuff. Now there is back roads on the other side of my property. It's not like my woods goes continuously.
Okay. So
they can go back there and take things off. And all I could watch on that was from the safety of my window. But they had 2 black SUVs and a van and a drone and a fancy luxury car with an official-looking guy.
Right. So that's crazy. I mean.
Then the next week, the DNR office comes back. So anything strange happening lately? I'm like, yeah, I ain't telling you no more, buddy.
Right. Because, you like you said during our conversation, you felt like it was murder and inhumane to kill them a little bit.
They sort of look like people, right?
Right.
They think they're highly intelligent creatures. I mean, so if it's a humanish looking thing that can think and process ideas, well, it's kind of like a person. Where's the moral dilemma? Where's the ethics here? You just blast it? And why would you do that?
Right. It's not really causing you any harm. It's not ruining your home or attacking your animals or anything. So I agree.
I will say, I've noticed If anything gets close to the house, I have a house cat that's never been outside. But my windows have been open all summer.
Okay.
If anything like that gets close to the house, the cat goes ballistic and hides, and you can't get him out from nowhere.
Perfect little guard cat right there. So that you have like an alarm system.
Right. So if anything's getting closer, like this cat, where's the cat? He's hiding. And the cat don't usually hide on nothing. So, I don't know what would happen if I had dogs. They'd probably bark and make lots of noise, but I don't have a dog, so.
Right. Now, has you have a son? Has your son seen them?
I don't let him go back to the feed pile. It'd be dangerous.
Okay. But does he know?
Hey, have you saw the Dogman? Yeah, he saw him.
Okay.
He knows they're back there. I just don't want him riding around on his quad or something all by himself back there.
Absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely not. This is, I mean, like I said, I have been dying, and I'm so glad to have you on tonight because, you know, I was just like, this guy has got to tell me what's going on. And, you know, we spoke for an hour before doing this interview, just about this, that, and the other thing. And, I mean, you've got a hell of a story to tell.
And I'm free. If anybody wants to ask me questions in the comment section,
Yep.
I'm pretty good. But we can also set up other interviews because I've observed as much as I can about how they communicate, how their pack dynamics are. I'm sort of into that a little bit, I guess.
Okay. Now,
Stuff like
how
that.
about
I'll answer the best I can.
Let's touch basis on that. How do they communicate? What have you seen?
Well, there's sort of... Think of how a dog communicates with its body language, its vocals, and its barks and growls.
Yep.
And multiply that, and consider that like a toddler just starting out.
Okay.
And, you know, because a toddler just makes some noises.
Yeah.
It's dog-like-ish, wild animal-ish, but they have a very active vocal range, set of communication skills. I mean, they can communicate pretty decently.
Okay. Now, this was because you, obviously, this was what the family, as you call them, prior to these agents coming. How many were there back before?
Right.
What? I'm sorry?
Nothing.
No, how many of them prior to the guys coming in and hunting them were there before?
7.
Okay. Now,
seven was about the steady number. Sometimes there'd be 5 or 6. Sometimes there'd be an extra one.
Did you notice an alpha?
The big male.
Yep. Okay. Is that now? The pack dynamic? Did he pretty much eat first? Was there, because like with the lions and other wild animals, the alpha will always eat first. Was there anything like that, or?
Maybe if they had to hunt for their food.
Okay.
Right? But if it's a free-for-all, you throw it down, and it's like a bunch of hungry house dogs wanting to all go for it at once.
Right, okay. All right. So, now, was there any young ones that you could tell? I mean, like, smaller?
Smaller, but they weren't like puppies or something. They would be a little bit smaller, like 3/4 of a size.
Okay. So what, about 5 foot, somewhere around there?
Yeah. I don't, it's like just a little bit smaller.
Okay. All right.
I don't know how they age or when they breed or have kittens or puppies or whatever. So maybe they were last year's, maybe they were 5 years ago. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm not sure their life cycle.
Yeah, I don't think, other than what William told us a while ago, and theoretically, he really didn't even know because supposedly the one that was in captivity should have been dead, but it was still alive and doing well. So, how the heck are we supposed to know when these things are? Because
I just was an idiot that decided to throw some food out there.
Yeah. Yep.
That's all I can. What's my qualifications?
Right.
Well, I threw some food out there.
Right. Absolutely. So, like you said, guys, he is open for conversation in the comment section. I'm open for another interview.
Anytime. I can talk about, cryptic are my things, but I can talk about the 80s talk about guitars pretty good. So if you have any questions about the 80s or guitars or quads or race cars, ask it away too.
Right.
But we might lose the focus of the channel if we get too much of that going on.
Yeah, we'll just do that on our personal time. But I mean, like, if anybody has any questions, feel free. He would gladly answer them. Like I said, I mean, I was in amazement and wanted to know what was going on. And I'm really happy that you reached back, you reached out to me. I'm glad you saw that comment. It's just, so if anything does happen, you'll let us know too.
I wasn't sure how to take your comment at first when you read it today. I've been meaning to get back with you, but it looks like you were kind of on the defensive or something.
No, I truly wanted to know. I was just like, please I don't think I said please. I was like, you keep sharing these with everybody. Get a hold of me.
But no, and there's some really great people in your comment section.
Yeah, I mean,
and there's some regulars that it's like, if you're gonna make friends over a comment section on a cryptid channel, I guess that's about as close as I can get.
Yeah, true. I've got an amazing group of people that follow me, and I'm thankful for everybody, and I did stop reading comments for a while. I'm just now getting back into it because, there's the trolls and stuff, but, I'm glad that the comment section is alive and going because it makes friends, and like you said, friends, it's people that can just bullshit with each other about what's going on or ask questions. Oh, I've had this happen. Well, I've got this going on. So
yeah, feel free to ask me. Just put them in the comment section. I'll either respond there, or I can do an interview, however you want, or we can do both.
Right.
Or if you want to tell me I'm an idiot, I ain't that sensitive. So, or it's all right. I don't care. Just, I hope not. I hope it stays serious.
Yeah,
not that sensitive about stuff. So.
Yeah, no. All right. So this was what I wanted to know about what was going on. Hopefully we can get another interview and you can answer some more questions to people.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I just gave you the quick glossy version.
Right.
I fed them. The DNR called some agency from Virginia. They showed up in official vehicles. They killed them. Another Dogman showed up.
Yep.
That's a cliff notes.
Yeah. So maybe we can sit down again and go deeper into the cliff notes. I'm coming up on time for record wise. Is there anything that you want to say to anybody at the end of this?
Nah.
All right.
I'm all set. It's like, be excellent to each other.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, my friend. Well, I appreciate you coming on.
If anyone caught my movie reference, well, if you caught my movie reference, put it in the comments, and you can get points that don't matter from me.
Be excellent to each other.
Be excellent to each other.
All right. Well, it was great talking to you, and I look forward to talking to you again.
Definitely. I'll stay tuned, and have a great day.
You as well. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
And there you have it, folks. I do hope you all enjoyed this night-ending bonus as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. I'd like to thank you all for supporting the channel. It is, after all, your support that helps this channel to continue to grow and go, and what gives us all a place and a chance to share our experiences and theories judgment-free. Everyone is treated with the respect that we deserve. Please, everyone, stay safe, happy, healthy, and ever vigilant, keeping an eye on our children, pets, family, and our friends. These creatures are real. They are out there and dangerous. Share this information with those you love and care about, and it may just help save their lives someday. Until next time, never stop asking questions, never stop searching for the truth, and God bless you all.